Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host Maxine and we're on episode 225. Want to give a quick disclaimer. My voice may sound a bit hoarse because my nose is a little stuffed up. I think I'm definitely under the weather. It's giving a cold and I'm just trying my best to conquer it. So I've been drinking lemon, honey, ginger tea that I make from scratch. I don't do that whole tea packet stuff. When I'm sick, I do things that I've known is effective based off of my childhood, my upbringing. So I literally squeeze lemon and peel ginger and squeeze honey and brew the water, and anyway, I'll be fine. Let's get into these topics. Let's talk about the nurses down in Florida. The nurses down in Florida, South Florida in particular. Now, Florida just has a bad rep. Now, oh my goodness. If I have any Floridian listeners, hey, thank you for listening. And what's going on? Now, here's the thing with me. When I first came across this story, I was like, my initial reaction, just like everyone else, was just like, dang, scamming? Like, you're scamming the system and you're not like legitimate nurses. Then I took a moment. And I realized we are in the land of scammers. I know we like to make fun of Nigeria and other African countries, but America is built off of scamming. Okay? America is built off of deceit, fraud, lies. That is just the fiber in being American. And many people have gone far in their professional careers, in their relationships. Like, people have gone far to get where they want to go based off of a lie. Based off a lie. And when I think about, some things you shouldn't lie about, right? Like, you shouldn't lie about being a doctor if you're not board certified, if you didn't pass whatever doctor test there is you need to pass, if you didn't go through med school, if you didn't go through the specific steps, right? There's no loophole to it. Now, what I've known for quite some time is many people will go to med school out of the country for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because it's cheaper or if it's a shorter route to becoming a doctor, but I've known many people who have gone to medical school outside of the U.S., whether that's in a tropical area or in Switzerland. Nonetheless, I've known some people who have gone to medical school outside of the U.S. and returned to the U.S. after they completed whatever they completed outside of the U.S. at an accredited school, at an accredited medical school, and then they just finished their last few steps in America to be American certified for whatever field that they're in for healthcare. Now, with this particular situation here, federal agents in Florida arrested 25 people accused of selling over 7,600 fake nursing school diplomas to thousands of students. Now, when I first came across this story, initially I thought it was something where directly the person who wants to be a certified nurse went to some undercover dark web link and was able to get this legitimate quote unquote certificate to present in their practice. Yet after further reading this, it's actually a situation where the schools present. The schools are selling fake nursing school diplomas. They named a couple of schools from this video, from this clip that I watched on Instagram. And so now those schools are under liability, of course, and I'm sure there's some investigations taking place. But it just opened your eyes to the fact that, wait, there are schools in cahoots for a scam. Like what? Like who? You know what I mean? Like, why even be mad at this point? Like, why put the blame on these individuals who really wanted a nursing degree? Why put the blame on them if the very institution that should stand for honor and integrity are selling these institutions are selling fake diplomas? And you know how much they're going for? $15,000. And that's a lick. Like, that is actually... that's pretty justifiable. And then I'm thinking, like, maybe these nurses were already working in the field and just needed to complete their diploma in order to ascend in their career, but they're already still working in the field. So they were able to have enough money to save and put down or pay in full for this deal. So that's what I'm thinking, like, okay, this probably was just like a home run. You know, we don't have enough conversations about just wanting to get to where we want to go, because not everyone is intrigued or interested in pursuing the long haul or the hardest route to their goal. You know, so I can't even be mad at these people, these 25 people accused of selling over 7,600 fake nursing school diplomas to thousands of students. Like, there's so many students who are allegedly in possession of fake nursing school diplomas. Now, how do you track them down, right? Like, how do you know for certain this is one of the thousands of students who have a fake diploma? What is a certifiable giveaway or just hint that proves, oh no, your diploma is fake? I don't know. And then it makes me wonder, do you get the diploma prior to passing boards, or do you get it afterwards? Like, how does that work? Because I'm wondering if they already passed the boards exam that nurses have to take to be certified. Is that really a big deal then? Like, okay, they're still certified nurses, they just don't have their legitimate diploma yet. Right? So if they don't have the diploma yet and they got caught for having a fake one, they could still really just go through within their career of being a nurse. I'm thinking, right? Like, they just have to find another institution to legitimately get their nursing school diploma from. That's what I'm thinking. But, you know, I think it's so easy for people to just present this like, oh, this is so deplorable, right? It's so easy for us to be so righteous and shame these thousands of students who decided to take this short route. But if you just take a moment and look at things from a macro scope, you'll see that America is a scam. America, we've learned from the land that we've been living in. We've learned from these head honchos, these government officials, these people in these high elite offices. They haven't made it to that point the long way. They haven't made it to that point because they were honest. What are we talking about? Like, at some point you have to lie in your career. And look, I'll be the one to say it. Like, at some point, you have to lie in your career. You have to get to where you want to go and fib a little, right? Sometimes we accentuate what is in our resume, right? We present a certain version of ourselves that's really a lie when we're interviewing for a position that we really want. And sure, maybe we're not always lying, but sometimes we have to present this, no, I'm always a team player. When it's like, no, you're really introverted, you're not, right? So all in all, we're all frauds. We've all frauded in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not mad at these nurses, or quote unquote nurses. I don't know how would you describe them, but I'm not mad at them. Like, I think at the very least, God bless. And like, first of all, who snitched? Who snitched? Who snitched? And I don't think because I really think it's, I don't know if I'm looking into it, honestly. If you know, let me know. But I think you will get your certification from the state first, right? You'll pass your board's exam. So you're a certified nurse. And then you're pursuing your diploma because that's just what you would do naturally within the career in order to ascend further in your career. So regardless, they're nurses. They're just, some of them don't have real degrees. Oh man, this sneeze is trying to come out, but it's not coming out. So excuse me if I sneeze. So yeah, I think there's something like that. God bless. And I'm not here trying to necessarily tell you to lie or go about purchasing your diploma or degrees, or I just feel like I'm sure they know what they're doing in the hospital room, right? I don't feel like they're completely fibbing within their degree of knowledge here. I don't imagine they're just like, I don't know what to do with this needle right now. What is whatever the nurse terminology, but I really don't think that they don't know anything about nursing and what to do with this or that, or this valve, or, this pulse. I just feel like there's just some formalities that are just ridiculous. Some things I just feel like are ridiculous in this world. Like, oh, you're not legitimate unless you go about this process this one linear way. When that's not always the case. Like, you could still be just as certified and well within your career, well within your craft, and maybe not have gone the cookie cutter linear way to get there. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's that serious. And I get it. Oh, well, it's in healthcare. It has to be that serious. Would you want a surgeon who's not? No. But I'm thinking the narrative. I'm thinking, not the narrative. I'm thinking you would have to have gotten your boards first. You would have had to gotten, oh my gosh, you would have gotten your board certification first, and then you'll get your diploma. It's one thing if you lied about your certification for the board's exam. Then it's like, oh shit, damn, do you know what you're doing? But look, blame America. Blame America. A lot of people are in positions that they have no qualifications for. They do not have a degree. They do not have a certification. There's a lot of people in education, in the field of education, who do not have the quote-unquote credentials to uphold the position that they currently hold. And yet they have the position. Like, you don't see people going up in arms about that, and I think we have this, like, just this linear mindset when it comes to being certified or being justified in your position. Like, no, if you've been doing your job well already, like, and I'm really thinking, like, let's say if they've already been nurses and this was just like a step in their career that they wanted to complete, but they haven't gotten it yet, or it's just been prolonged, they have a lot going on, and just go ahead and wrap this shit up and get this degree. Right? But I've already been working in the field. I've already been a nurse for the past 7 years, or the past 5-6 years. I'm already legitimately board certified. Okay, what is it to you if I have a fake nursing degree? What is the big deal? Whoop-de-whoop. I know what I've been doing. I've been doing a great job in my career for the past 5-6 years as a nurse. So what does it matter? We put value onto things. And if we didn't put value onto things, we wouldn't care. Am I alone on this? But deadass, I really feel like we have to rewire our thinking when it comes to if someone is a qualifiable candidate or a qualified professional in their career if they don't have this or that. Like, what is that to you? If they've already been doing their job well, have gotten extraordinary reviews, what is it to you if they've been faking their degree? What? So what? Oh gosh. Okay, let's get into this next topic here. So okay, I don't know what to say about this whole Tyree. That case in Memphis, that young black boy, not young, but he's in his 20s, who got killed and beaten down by 6 police officers, and they're all black male officers. Now, police brutality is wrong, period, right? It's wrong, obviously, when a white man does it to a black man. It's wrong when an Asian man does it to a black. It's wrong when a white man does it to a white man. Like, it's wrong nonetheless. I read something recently that someone said, even if the person is guilty, the police does not have a right to kill them. And that is true, right? Like, I think, especially when it's something where you get pulled over because of a traffic violation, you shouldn't have your life at risk because of that, regardless, so regardless if you are guilty for a bigger crime that they unfolded as they have you held up for this traffic violation. But nonetheless, this case, it's a lot. And I did not watch the video because I don't like watching those videos anyway of like, I didn't watch the whole George Floyd video when he got pinned down. I don't feel like those videos need to be watched or just need to be a memory that we have embedded in our mental capacity. I just don't think it's healthy for us to do that. So I refuse to watch it. And yet I've read a couple of articles. I read one article in particular that really did a thorough job in describing what took place and how he was beaten brutally and kicked. And so there was an officer who spoke on his radio saying, I hope, because apparently Tyree, if I'm saying his name correctly, excuse me if I'm not, he pulled over, then he jumps out the car and leaves. He leaves. He leaves. Like he runs away. And a police officer on his radio, he said, "Oh, I hope they stomp his ass when they get him." And that is what they did. That hope was fulfilled. And yeah, he is no longer with us. He is passed. The whole thing is just off. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing is just so grandiose and just awfully putting. Now, I don't want to come on here with this whole, y'all know I'm quick to conspiracy, I know, but it's off-putting because, yes, I'm glad that the officers were found accountable and have been held to justice for their brutality against this man, against this civilian. But it's just very ironic that these officers are all black men, right? And it's very ironic that the justice system was very swift in reprimanding these black officers. And now the narrative has shifted from the white man being the aggressor and being the ones oppressing black men, to it now looking like, oh, it's the black man who's oppressing the fellow black man. So I think about like, okay, it seems purposeful. I mean, put on the conspiracy hat right now. It does seem purposeful. It seems very, okay, like, what are we doing now? Like, I don't want to harp on the narrative of black men harming black men. I don't think that's productive. I don't think any part of this conversation is productive when it comes to fighting for our rights. I don't agree with conversations that are divisive. But I'm finding a shift is taking place when it comes to this conversation here, being that the black male officers were quickly reprimanded, while previous cases of police brutality are typically images of white male officers against black civilians, black male civilians, and even black female civilians. So I'm just wondering, why was it so swift for these black male officers to be reprimanded? Which I'm glad they were reprimanded, but like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? Like, I just wonder, like, how does it ever add up to 6 officers attacking one man? There was some part in the article in which the Tyree, the civilian Tyree, one of the officers assumed that he was going to take his firearm from him. I guess they were fighting, and Tyree was close enough to the officer in which he held or just tapped or touched the gun from the officer. And it was at that point in which everyone was on the attack and really hurt him from that. I don't know. I just wonder, like, when do you ever see it as, oh no, we're ganging up on somebody, right? Like, when does it ever, like, oh no, let's not all beat up on this one sole civilian has a 6 gang unit. Let's not do that. Instead, let's just like hold him down, arrest him, because as soon as you arrest him, you put him in cuffs. What else can he really do, right? And if you really need to, I know from what I've learned before that officers also carry the zip tie. So like, if anything, you could put that around his ankles if he was able to still be violent, regardless of him being arrested or in cuffs. So I just don't understand, I don't understand how in what world does this one guy have so much of a power that 6 officers needed to attack him at once? The whole story just feels weird, but God bless, rest in peace. It is disturbing. Again, I'm not watching that video. I do not encourage anyone to watch it. Just from what I've heard and from what I've read, reading the details of what took place alone is already enough for me. Like, it was already traumatizing and just too much, too heavy. And I don't know what is happening in the zeitgeist right now. But all in all, I am feeling a shift is happening. And now the face of police brutality is being shifted to black men, black male officers. So what's that about? So I hope that in conversations about this very topic, we don't lose sight of what oppression has been for us historically. Now, in the same breath, though, there are plenty of Black people who do uphold white supremacist ideals or ideologies. There are plenty of Black people who are so quick to want to be favored by the white man, the white woman, the white person in charge. And so they will do their dirty work. They will be racist against their own. They will be gatekeepers against their own. And this is nothing new, right? Like, there's a lot of Black people who are quick to talk down about other Black people. I'm laughing because it's reminding me of many times on this podcast when I will talk dog shit about just some Black people who I grew up with, right? And that comes from personal experiences, though, right? It's not coming from this, like, all Black people are this way, or I don't want to be friends. No, I have plenty of Black friends, and God, I hate even saying that. You know, people be like, how can I be racist? I had a Black girlfriend. My neighbor was Black. How am I racist? But then I went at the same time, like, okay, I mean, doesn't he have a point? If you had a Black girlfriend, how can you be racist? But then the always, whenever I would think that, or sometimes say it aloud, people will always react, well, no, it's many white men are fetishizing over Black women. And so what? If they say, oh, how can I be racist that I had a Black girlfriend, or I currently have a Black girlfriend? It could just simply be because of them fetishizing over them. And they also reference to slavery and how during the times of slavery, the white masses will rape their Black female slaves, and even their Black male slaves also. So I get that, but I also just feel like there are, like, I don't think it's always a racist thing, right? Anyway, but I just feel like the narrative is now trying to be shifted towards Black men are the racist ones, and I don't know. These conversations are tricky. I think you have to look at people as individuals and also recognize that, yes, there are definitely systems in place that are oppressive, and oftentimes oppressive towards people of color, and that is not something that is obviously a lie. Like, that's very true. So rest in peace. It's a strange case because it's just so random to me. I'm not familiar. And in the article that I read, it doesn't really state exactly why he got pulled over and how it escalated to what it escalated into. It just was something like, oh, he was pulled over on a traffic stop. And even that was still unclear. Like, what traffic stop specific reason as to why he got pulled over? You know, like, what, did he not have his head beams on? Did he pass the stop sign? Did he run a red light? Like, what was it that he initially got run over or pulled over for? And how did it become to where it landed? But God rest his soul is really disappointing and disturbing, and all of the disconcerting, all these things. And let's move forward. Let's talk about this 23-year-old woman who looks 8 years old, and she's dating a grown man, and he looks like a pedophile. Huh, Maxine? What'd you just say? There's a 23-year-old woman. She is legally 23. She's legitimately 23 years old. She's a white woman, yet she looks like she's 8 years old. How does that happen? What are you talking about, Maxine? I'm talking about this woman named Shauna Ray. She weighs just 50 pounds. 50 pounds. Like, she's tiny. And she stands at 3 feet and 10 inches tall. Y'all, I can't make this up. She's literally, I mean, Mitch is not even the PC word anymore, but she's shorter than a midget. She's probably like a troll. You know how there's midgets and there's like, small people, like, no, like a troll. She's probably like the size of a gnome, a garden gnome. She's that. Anyway, so she is that size because she received treatment for childhood brain cancer. And the treatment is the reason why she is only 50 pounds and 3 feet and 10 inches tall. Hey, I mean, at this point, what? So there is a condition that she had. She had a particular childhood brain cancer, and that treatment, the side effect of that treatment, led her to this. It's very, very unfortunate. It's very disturbing. She has her own reality show on TLC just about her life, her dating, her family life, all these things. And she's currently dating this grown man, like a full normal size adult man, this white guy. And there are pictures of them together on a date. There's one picture in particular in which they're paddleboarding, and he's in his grown ass man figure, right? About 6'2", with this fucking gnome next to him. And there's some comments that he said he received that day, and people say like, oh, you taking your daughter out to paddleboard? And he always has to correct people and say, no, this is my girlfriend. We're actually dating. Now, the conversation is he a pedophile? Right? Like, is he a fucking creep? Like, how is this weirdo dating someone? Sure, she's legally and technically 23 years old, but she's 8. Like, cut it out. She's 8 years old. She's really 8 years old. And not only is she 50 pounds and 3 feet and 10 inches tall, you guys, but her voice sounds as an 8-year-old. She has this squeaky, teeny-weeny voice. You know how that voice of... You know how with adolescents, particularly boys, their bass, their baritone don't come in until they hit puberty age, and their voice is just squeaky and high pitched until they hit that growth spurt. This is the same with this young girl. She has this voice. She never hit puberty. In her voice, at least. I don't know if she gets regular periods or what's going on with that. But it's very creepy to watch. There's clips of them together, and on this show, there are scenes of her going into a sex shop, and you see this small girl walking into a sex shop while other patrons who are regular sized human beings, who are adults, looking around like, why is this child in here? So the clerk at the sex shop, he ended up having to go up to her and ask her for some ID. He's like, can I see your ID, please? And so he gets their ID. It does confirm that they are of age, because she went there with an adult person who actually is her sister, who's a normal size. She actually looks young too, but she's not 3 feet. She's a regular size human being. Anyway, so she gets carded a lot. And she gets, of course, mistaken for an 8-year-old child because she looks and sounds as such. And I just feel like, why is this grown man dating her? Like, what is it about her? And so there's this video confessional that he shares that, I was attracted to her because he loves her resilience. He loves the fact that she persevered throughout her childhood brain cancer, and she lives her life on her own terms. And there's a scene of her, I think she's a bartender, actually. So you see this 8-year-old child behind the bar making drinks using the beer tap to fill up your glass for beer. And he's like, he loves her resiliency. Like, no, nigga, you're a creep. You're a pedophile and you got caught. And this is like his dream, right? Like he can't get arrested because she is of age. But she doesn't look it. And so I just feel like what sane man would look past the legitimate fact that she is 23, but the optics should be disturbing enough for you to be like, you know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. This is too strange. You look like, like what? Isn't there a level of concern raised up in you? So, and so she talked about also that she tried to date other people who have her same condition. And there's a clip of her meeting a guy who looks like her too, who looks young for his age, but he's an adult male. But he's a little bit taller than her. He's not 3 feet. I think that's still, the whole genetic makeup of how men are taller than women. It still even applies to people as such, right? To people who have this condition. So even though he is still technically short, he's a little bit taller than her. So he's probably like 4 feet 10. So it's a little bit taller. But he has this very small baby-like face. And his voice isn't all the way filled in with a baritone. And I'm like, well, at least date someone like him. But I don't think the chemistry was right between them. It just didn't work out. But I don't know how people watch these shows. I could not. But it's on TLC. TLC is known for weird ass shows like this, like My 600-Pound Life. You have these fat ass motherfuckers talking about I'll eat whatever I want and getting mad at the doctors for suggesting a healthier lifestyle or a healthy lifestyle. You also have shows on TLC about my weird addiction or my strange addiction, whatever it's called, and it's featuring people who are addicted to eating their couch, like literally eating their couch. I'm addicted to eating cotton balls or like something very off-putting. And where does it come from? Like, I don't know. Where does it come from? I'm not trying to judge that. I think some people, like, we all have our hang-ups. We definitely do. We all have our addictive parts in our lives. Like, in some ways, I feel like many of us could be impulsive. I know I could be impulsive sometimes. So I try not to judge these weird ass addictions, but like I'm addicted to eating my couch. Like there's something that I've heard of someone featured on the show talking about I'm addicted to eating my couch. I can't make it up. But hey, God bless. God bless. Let's move on. There's a mother who is an OnlyFans employee. So she has an account with OnlyFans, and you guys know OnlyFans is an account where you post exclusive X-rated content for subscription, and you make some money off of it, depending on your content and depending on the subscribers and the people who do sign up to see your content. You make bank. Every time they decide to see your content, they pay for it. I don't know what type of content she reveals. I don't know if it's straight porn or, soft porn, or is it just some like, oh, look at me jumping up and down, but my clothes are on, but my clothes are wet type of thing. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's something that is very suggestive. So because of this, she is banned from volunteering at her child's elementary school. The school board delivered the message to her and said that she's banned, And despite the fact that she does not have a criminal record, she is not a pedophile, she is not known for violent behavior, right? She's not a detriment to the youth, but because of her OnlyFans account, they find that to be disturbing and feel it is best to not have her volunteer at her child's elementary school. At the elementary school. I think this is so silly. I think this is silly because, first of all, why do you know about my OnlyFans account? Why do you know? Because it is a subscription-based platform. Now, sure, if you're typically with OnlyFans, how it works is, in order for me to know that you're on OnlyFans, you have to kind of promote it on your free account, right? So like you have to, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, you have to kind of let me know, hey, you want more of this? Well, click this link to my OnlyFans. That's how you know. I'm not like scrolling on OnlyFans and I see your content, right? I haven't been on OnlyFans, but like from what I've read about it, it's not like that. You can't just like easily scroll through it. You have to, in order to see someone's account or to really view their content, you have to subscribe and know who you're looking for. So typically you're led onto OnlyFans because you click the link that was shared on a different platform. So whether that platform is Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, Rumble, wherever, you're typically led there because that person has posted the link elsewhere. So sure, maybe someone from the school came across it because they were on her Instagram page and realized, oh my gosh, she's on OnlyFans. Now, with OnlyFans though, I believe there are some, like after you click the link, you could probably see a preview of what you could expect if you subscribe to their content. But I don't know how much of the preview is showing, right? Like, so let's say in the preview, she is bent over, but her clothes are on. And then she says, oh, well, click this link if you want to see me with my clothes off, bent over, right? I'm totally making this up in my head. But so that could be a reason how someone could assume, oh, she's doing something explicit in her OnlyFans. So nonetheless, people have gotten wind of her OnlyFans account, and the school board thought it was within the best interest of the children to not have this mother around. And I just think it's unfair because, first of all, what I do in my private time to make money should have nothing to do with my ability to be a safe resource or chaperone to children. You know, like I'm not walking into my role as a volunteer wearing stripper-like outfits. I'm not wearing 5-inch heels, platform shoes. Like, I'm not presenting myself as I am on my private, exclusive, subscription-based account. So to then not give me the grace to compartmentalize between the two, I think it's just very unfair. And I also feel like, well, the teachers nowadays, a lot of these teachers are the ones who should be banned from school. You have teachers out here just going about their effing lives in a way that is very open. It lacks all the boundaries. And they're confusing students. You have teachers who are openly talking about their sexcapades with students. You have teachers openly sharing their political affiliations or their viewpoints about X, Y, and Z. I miss the days when I didn't know if my teacher was a Republican or Democrat. I miss the days when MAGA wasn't immediately described and said for every white person that you see. And this was always something said as a trope against white people because, oh, well, there goes that MAGA over there. I'm not talking to him, right? Like, that's an immediate thing to place on white people who may seem trailer park-ish, who may come from this very just kind of low aesthetic. And I miss the days when that wasn't even something presented to me, but nowadays with social media, of course, and with just this lack of boundary, what happened to this is none of your business. I recently took a day off from work because of PTO. Hello, I could do that. And so I took a day off. But prior to that, I was prepping my students, letting them know, hey, I won't be here on X day. Just letting you know, right? And I'm still expecting for you to complete X, Y, and Z. I'm still expecting you to be respectful to the sub. And I'll be back, the following day. One of my students was like, oh, why aren't you coming? Why won't you be here? I looked at her, I'm like, huh? That's my business. What do you mean, why? Well, what the fuck is it to you? What do you mean, why? Well, I don't care if I had because I'm going to a wedding, because, more of those, legitimate reasons, because I just don't fucking have to tell you, right? Like, I could just not want to be here. Like, it doesn't have to be this, elaborate explanation. Hey, I'm just letting you know I won't be here. You're lucky I'm even letting you know. That's how I am. I'm very, I don't have to tell you shit. I really don't. I really don't have to tell you shit. But I'm letting you know because I know how some of y'all act when I'm not here. And just know this is still expected. I'm still grading this assignment in my absence. And it is what it is. But again, when you have those boundaries trying to be tested and trying to be crossed, don't ask me where I'm going. I remember being younger, and whenever my dad would get ready to go out, Saturday morning, I would ask him, hey, Dad, where you going? And I'm just asking him. I'm not asking to be I guess I was trying to be intrusive, but I was just asking, right? My innocent self was just asking. And my dad would never answer me. He would never give me a straight answer. He'll just say, I'm going to Africa. And I'm like, Dad, where are you going? I'm going to Africa. And that's just what it was. To this day, he never, he just won't, unless he says it on his way out. I'm about to go get my haircut, right? But if he's not announcing where he's going, he's not answering my question directly. He'll just say something very, elaborate. I'm going to Africa. I'm going skiing. It's like, Dad, what are you talking about? What? I'm going to Africa. Where are you going? But anyway, that's the same thing with these kids. I get that, because honestly, don't question adults. The fuck? What do you mean, where am I going? Where are you going with this grade? Where are you going with this GPA? Where are you going with your goals in life? Where are you going with this outfit? Where are you going with this blanket? Because you're not coming in my classroom with the blanket. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where? Let's look at you. Where are you going? With your life? With your red hair? Where are you going? I'm dead ass. But anyway, it just comes back to boundaries. There's a lack of boundary respecting conversations. There's a lack of boundary setting from adults. Even adults have crossed the line when it comes to that. So I can't even all the way blame a child, right? I could only put the blame solely on the adult. Why are you allowing the child to address you in this way? Why are you allowing them to not just ask you, but expect a response from you when they ask, where are you going? Or why won't you be here? What the fuck? Because I won't. Is the mic on? Because I won't. Because I'm not, and because I won't, and that's it. That's the end of the day. So anyway, justice to this mother. I think I read something where she has actually sued the school. Let me read this real quick. She decided to sue the school board or the district. Let me see. So she says here. So her name is Victoria Treese. White woman. She's 31 years old. So she said she spent 5 years volunteering already at this elementary school, and she just recently got banned. Well, before being banned in October 2021 for her work in the adult entertainment industry. The reason I even started with OnlyFans was because I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. I wanted to still be involved. Now, even that alone, I feel like she shouldn't even have to say that either. Like, I don't care. Like, I shouldn't have to explain to you what I choose to do to make money in my life, right? Are you paying my bills? Are you providing me with this form of currency? Are you taking this load and this burden off of me? You're not? Okay, so shut the fuck, like, get out of my face. You know, and this whole judgment of, well, why don't you just get a real job? Why don't you just get a regular 9 to 5 job? No. I want it fast. I want to cash out now. And this was a great option, so I went for it. That's it. So she says on Tuesday she filed, and I'm sure she got banned back in October 2021. And this story is coming to surface because she recently filed a lawsuit. So she filed a lawsuit against OCPS after she said the principal told her she could no longer be around children on school grounds. Instructions, she says, came from the school board. She says, quote, "I am not a bad person and I'm doing my job in private." She said that she passed all background checks and other requirements to volunteer at the school and that she does not have a criminal record. Child, justice for her. I hope she wins this lawsuit. I hope she gets all the money from the school district. And, you know, I wish her the best. But, like, to discriminate against her because she is an adult entertainment actress, I feel like it's unfair. I feel like, you know, this whole selective righteousness is ridiculous. And I am not in support of that. So God bless. I hope she continues her 9 to 5 at OnlyFans. And she makes more money from suing these asses and wins this lawsuit. So God bless her. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode here, you all. As you can see or hear, do my best to not sniffle or sneeze. But it's difficult, y'all. But I'm glad I got this episode off, and I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Leave a positive review. And I will check in with you all next time. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. If you liked it, leave a review, share, and subscribe. God bless.